AKS empowers you to build the next generation of AI-enabled apps. To get started with AKS Automatic, all you need is an application repository, hosted either on GitHub or Azure DevOps. No Docker file or Kubernetes manifests? No problem. AKS Automatic can help draft all of that for you. Start by clicking Create from the Kubernetes Services blade in the Azure portal. You will see a new Deploy Application option. This guides you through application deployment and Kubernetes cluster setup. All you need to do is create or choose an existing resource group, point to your code repository, and branch. You can use existing Docker files, but if you don't have one, you can tell AKS to auto-generate one for you. Select where you want to save the Docker file and where you want the container image to be stored. AKS can also use your existing Kubernetes manifests or generate the manifests for you. Just give it a path to save the files to and review the remaining application settings. Don't have a cluster? No problem. AKS can create one for you too. With AKS Automatic, all the best practices are put in place for you, so you know you'll get a production-ready Kubernetes cluster within minutes. Configurations like automatic upgrades, Microsoft Entra ID, and Azure RBAC for authentication and authorization, and monitoring are all enabled out of the box. AKS will connect the monitoring components to the new cluster and even configure a few alert rules. Quickly review your settings, and off it goes. AKS will create all the resources needed and add the Docker file, Kubernetes manifests, and GitHub Action workflow files to your repository. When the deployment is complete, it will create a pull request for you to review. Once the deployment is complete, review and merge the pull request, and that will kick off the GitHub Actions workflow to build the container image, push it up to Azure Container Registry, and deploy the Kubernetes manifests to your cluster. Within a few minutes, you will have a working application deployed to your cluster. Day 0 and Day 1 activities are taken care of for you with AKS Automatic. But what about Day 2 operations? This is where AKS Automatic helps as well, with its pre-installed workload and node scaling features. The open-source project Kata is enabled by default, and you can use the Azure Portal UI to configure rules. As traffic increases to your application, Kata will automatically increase the number of pods. As the number of pods increases, compute capacity of your cluster will also need to increase. This is where AKS Node Auto-Provisioning comes in. Built on top of the open-source project Carpenter, AKS will be able to provision new nodes to handle the increased demand and eventually scale down and even right-size nodes within your cluster based on workload demands. Monitoring is enabled out of the box, and you can start to view Azure Monitor metrics and Grafana dashboards right away. Some Azure Platform metric alerts will be enabled for you, but you can also opt into Prometheus Community Alert rules to gain additional insights and learn about trouble spots before your customers do. With AKS Automatic, deploying and managing cloud-native and AI-enabled applications has never been easier. From code to cluster, AKS Automatic takes care of the heavy lifting, so you can focus more on innovation and less on infrastructure.